Most of us are huge fans of PS5, which is obviously because of how amazing games look on this console. The gaming surely feels next level as the graphics and visuals are stunning. Even if you don't own a PS5, I'm sure that you will agree that these 14 titles are some of the best PS5 games out there. There's something for everyone here regardless of their favorite genre. God of War Ragnarok. We all love to see Kratos beat the crap out of Norse gods, but imagine how awesome it would be to watch all this in high quality with full-on details and visuals. That's when PS5 comes in handy. You guys can have an ultimate experience while throwing your axe and smashing Odin's skull. The game gives you complete freedom over different combo attacks, which looks extremely satisfying as you combine everything and bring out the Ghost of Sparta. The name still gives me chills. It's just so cool to refer to Kratos as the OG Ghost of Sparta. We have seen Kratos through a lot of suffering and destruction. So seeing him acting as a responsible father and helping other people is just weirdly satisfying. Now, as great as the 2018's God of War was, Ragnarok is just something else. It's almost double the size of the previous title. You will get to see the complete ending of the Norse saga, and will also get a vague idea of the next part in the Valhalla DLC. If I'm being completely honest, then you must play this game if you're a fan of the series. There's no doubt in my mind that you're gonna love it because of all the updated visuals and graphics combined with great characters and cutscenes. Sure, for some players you could say that the game is more of a movie and less gameplay because of the dialogues and cutscenes. However, we can all agree that if you're looking for an engaging storyline that is jam-packed with action, combat, and blasting moves, then there's no better game than Ragnarok. This is where PS5 truly shines. Spider-Man 2. This is one of the best open-world Spider-Man games. Spider-Man 2 enhances everything, and the addition of Venom is just mind-blowing. Fans like me were waiting for a long time to see how Venom will look on PS5, and we finally got to see it. The game is packed with stunning visuals which will make you go crazy as every detail speaks for itself. The environment, the buildings, the sky, and the entire map is filled with interactive stuff. The open world environment is incredibly detailed. You can do so much besides just swinging your web, which in my opinion is another fan favorite feature. Things like stopping random crimes, helping citizens in distress, and even taking on side missions. All this makes the entire game an engaging experience. Now, if we talk about storyline, then it's pretty simple and picks up from where the last part left off. You see Peter and Miles grow, both as heroes and individuals, dealing with their personal lives and responsibilities. Loki, I'm really amazed to see that 2018's release brought back most of the OG villains, and this time, in Spider-Man 2, we got to see the Venom plus both Peter and Miles working together. Nevertheless, the game is remarkable in terms of storyline, visuals, web swinging, environment, cutscenes, and overall PS5 graphics. There are some fantastic boss battles as well that test your skills and keep you on the edge of your seat. Peter has his classic gadgets and brute strength, while Miles brings his bioelectric venom powers and invisibility into the mix. All of this combined makes the game a must-play for every Spider-Man fan.
Advice for you bad guys? I see everything. Don't get hit.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This is a game that I can play whenever I'm feeling down, and I know for sure that it'll light up my mood. Rift Apart is an absolute blast. It's one of those games that just nails the fun factor from start to finish. First off, the graphics are stunning. Playing on the PS5, the visuals are incredibly detailed and vibrant. The world feels alive with so much going on in the background, it's like playing a Pixar movie. One of the most amazing aspects is the gameplay. That's where the game truly shines. The mechanics are super tight, and the weapons, oh man, the weapons are a joy to use. Each one feels unique, and upgrading them is so satisfying. The new rift mechanic adds a fresh twist, letting you zip between different dimensions instantly. It keeps the action fast and fluid, and some of the set pieces are jaw-dropping.
Say goodbye! Hey! What did you do?
If I talk about the storyline, then it's pretty engaging too. Ratchet and Clank are as charming as ever, and the new character Rivet fits right in. The humor is on point, and there are some genuinely heartfelt moments. The narrative does a great job of making you care about the characters and their journey. In all honesty, this game is the most fun you can have from a fast-paced action game. All the jokes and humor combined with an all-out action makes every gamer go crazy.
You think that crushing defeat is all it takes to stop me? I mean, yes.
What I love most is the variety. One moment you're in an intense firefight, the next you're solving a clever puzzle, and then you're riding on the back of a giant creature through a stunning alien landscape. It never gets old. It's always awesome to see the characters making jokes and progressing further in the playthrough.
We're going to a dimension where I always win, so you can finally know how it feels.
Ghost of Tsushima. One of the first things you'll notice about this game is the visual beauty. The open world is stunning with dynamic weather and a day-night cycle that really brings it to life. Riding through fields of swaying grass or watching the sunset over the ocean feels almost real. The sound design complements this perfectly, from the clash of swords to the rustle of leaves in the wind. The game does an amazing job of immersing you in the historical Japan with its beautiful landscapes and detailed villages. When I first saw this game, I was completely hooked just by the idea of roaming around as a samurai or ninja in such a stunning open world. Ghost of Tsushima nails the concept of open world story games. Everything is on point and the storyline is pretty engaging. The game showcases the growth of Jin Sakai in such an extraordinary way. It also tackles things like honor, failure, defeat, and code of conduct. From the start of the game, you'll never get bored as every instance somehow grows the main character. All the things that Jin Sakai does for its clan and for the people on the island is truly amazing. Now, if we talk about another fan favorite aspect, which is of course the combat, Tsushima completely destroyed its competitors with a flawless combat that is filled with variations. One moment you are using smoke bombs and the next thing you know you're challenging someone to a samurai duel. It's so great to see the developers balancing the ghost and the samurai style. Honestly, I will always be thankful to the developers for giving us an option to play the game either as a ghost, which in other words is ninja, or as a samurai. For fans like me who are a huge fan of shinobi games, this feature definitely is a feast for the eyes. Resident Evil Village. Before I say anything, know that this is definitely not my favorite Resident Evil game. The only reason I love this part is because of its graphics and the fact that it's another Resident Evil installment. Also, how can I forget about Lady Dimitrescu for all the good stuff? I believe that only a handful of Resident Evil games are the best, such as the fourth part, the second, and Biohazard as well. Resident Village is something you can say will be a nice choice to play if you have completed all the previous titles and if only you just want to experience the graphics. Not gonna lie, there's a really good content in the game which won't make you feel bored and will keep on pushing you to the limits. I think one of the best factors are the multiple main villains. Unlike some previous titles, you don't just have a single main villain to defeat like Tyrant or Nemesis. This time you got a lot more villains like the Lady and Mother Miranda. I'm just saying that the developers have added a lot more and focused more on survival compared to the OG Resident Evil 4. You could say that the village is what the Resident Evil games are about, with a touch of high-end graphics and textures.
Child? Hey, wait. Do you mean Rose? Is she here?
Rose! Rose! Yes. She is in great danger.
The game looks really impressive on the PS5. Every detail and image screams for itself, saying as if it's been cracked up a notch for an enhanced graphical purpose. The scenery and the soundtrack feel immersive. Also, the voice acting of Lady Dimitrescu is another additional feature that takes the overall game to the next level. Nevertheless, the best thing about Resident Village is that you can easily dive into it and have an all-out blast without playing the previous parts. The game is a sort of brand new story experience.
Ethan, go! Save your daughter!
Elena, don't give up! Reach for me!
Horizon Forbidden West. How can we forget the series that made its name among some of the other fan-favorite open-world RPG games? Horizon is a series that you are either gonna hate or absolutely love it. The game is an example of how you can make RPG with a good storyline combined with machines. Not gonna lie, I didn't like the game at first because of the whole robotic stuff. I just felt as though RPGs are mostly about dragons, monsters, medieval stuff, hence it kind of felt off to see sci-fi machines, but hey, the developers really nailed it and gave us an engaging game.
Gotta keep moving.
Bring us around! Taking course!
Fire now!
Now, I know that different players have different opinions about the game. I believe that the graphics and animations are definitely a major upgrade from Zero Dawn. You could say that if someone wants to enjoy enhanced graphics, then the best pick would be Forbidden West. On the other hand, if you guys want to experience a good story and a great character along with diversified open world, then Zero Dawn will be a nice choice. Both games are perfect in their own way, but in this video we are talking about some of the best PS5 games, therefore Forbidden West is the only suited selection. I would recommend not skipping out on this one, or if you haven't played the original, then do complete it before getting your hands on the sequel.
More machines on their way. Get to safety. I'll handle the rest.
Honestly, I think that there are a lot of amazing games releasing every year. So it's no doubt that there must be something great about the Horizon series that made it popular. Not every RPG game gets its mention in the top 10 lists about graphics, story, and role-playing. Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is hands down my favorite Final Fantasy game. The only reason I even started playing the series is because of Cloud, Noctis, and Tifa. I don't know why, but for some reason I always loved Cloud's hair and his overall look, plus Noctis also looks awesome, so I just had to see what the game was about. The developers gave us a great surprise remaking the fan favorite 7th part, which to be honest didn't disappoint and definitely gave us a great experience. I know that some of you are going to argue that Rebirth is better, but I just think that the OG part is kind of more entertaining. The nostalgia you get just by playing as Cloud Strife again is simply amazing, plus you also get to see those awesome cutscenes on modern consoles.
Tifa and I...
There's no doubt that Rebirth is somewhat better in terms of graphics, but for some reason I just love the first part. For me, the only good reason to play Rebirth is Sephiroth, and to see the complete ending of Final Fantasy VII. Nevertheless, the game is definitely a great choice, and is loaded with exploration, boss battles, turn-based combat, and dialogues. The combat and the environment are two of my favorite things. I just love to explore and see different places or find certain items for quest completion. Even the thought of fighting with those crazy bosses on PS5 is mind-blowing. Everything looks stunning with all the flashy attacks and combo moves. The journey is also a great factor and gets us hooked as we feel like a part of the team, and seeing each character playing a vital role is quite satisfactory.
I'm damn good at it!
Demon Souls. As much as I love Souls game, I'm really sad that I'm mentioning Demon Souls. Don't get me wrong, the game is super amazing, but it's the fact that Dark Souls series is not getting a remake on PS5 is making me sad. Dark Souls is much better than Demon Souls, so I just feel as though it'll be a huge upgrade to make a remake for the PS5. Anyhow, Demon Souls is definitely a good pick, but it's considered the worst Souls game. I'm not criticizing anything, just stating the facts. It's just that out of all the major Souls games, fans don't like Demon Souls as much as they do Elden Ring, Sekiro, or Dark Souls.
Had roused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons.
However, I can confidently say that the game is a masterpiece that shaped the Souls genre. I mean, we all know that Dark Souls is what you can call the birth of the Souls genre's popularity. However, Demon Souls was released before Dark Souls, hence the game sort of gave inspiration to what we call today Dark Souls. Now, the developers have made a great decision to remake the game for PS5. This way players will be able to enjoy the good old Souls mechanics in updated graphics. Nevertheless, if you're someone who wants to dive into the original Souls content, but are finding hard to deal with the outdated textures, then Demon Souls will be your best choice, as you can play the game on PlayStation 5, which will enhance your overall gameplay. Surely, with games like Elden Ring and Lies of P, we are progressing in the Souls genre, but it's just so good to see that the old games are getting remakes, so people don't forget their legacy. Kena Bridge of Spirits. I have talked about this game countless times on this channel. If I'm being honest, then I never would have thought that I would be mentioning a game multiple times. However, all my opinions shattered as I find Kena to be extremely beautiful. The game is an example of how well small gaming studios can do with a low budget. These days, when games are filled with microtransactions and other stuff, it's such a nice feeling to enjoy some decent gaming and just let yourself loose in the stunning visuals and soundtracks. Some gamers might skip out on this game for silly reasons, which I think is kind of weird, as Kena showcases some quality visuals and a colorful environment.
I know what that is. It's a forest here. Whoa, look what happened to the rod. He's so cute. Look at him go. Does he know any tricks, Kena?
The game has everything in it. There's a balanced amount of action combat, stunning visuals, seamless cutscenes, engaging storyline, and a loving main character. I believe that everything fits perfectly, making the entire game a balanced experience. If I talk a little bit of the gameplay or storyline, then you're basically a little girl exploring a forest and helping the spirits. That's it. This is kind of the easiest explanation of the plot.
I can see that. You both look very strong. Do you know who that spirit was with the horned mask?
We don't know, but when he shows up, the girl's poison grows stronger.
You're on a journey to explore and see different parts of the map while battling the creatures or monsters, ultimately helping the spirits. Not gonna lie, it's a great game and definitely worthy of playing if you want to a break from hardcore action stuff and want some peaceful, gorgeous gameplay. And the fact that it's available on PS5 is what makes Kena an amazing game, because of the enhanced visuals and graphics. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Alright, let's talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor, one of the best games you can play on your PS5 right now. If you're a Star Wars fan, this game is like a dream come true. It picks up the story of Cal Kestis, a young Jedi trying to survive after Order 66 has wiped out most of his kind. It's got everything you'd want in a Star Wars game: epic lightsaber battles, deep lore, and a whole galaxy to explore. You play as Cal, who's still on the run from the Empire. The story is super engaging, filled with twists, and yeah, it really pulls you into the Star Wars universe. You'll meet all sorts of interesting characters, from mysterious new allies to deadly Inquisitors who are hunting you down. The voice acting and character development are top-notch, making you feel really connected to Cal and his journey. The combat in Jedi Survivor is like totally awesome. It's all about using your lightsaber and force powers in these fluid, dynamic fights. You've got to think strategically parrying enemy attacks, using your abilities to control the battlefield, and taking down some pretty tough foes. It's challenging but super satisfying when you nail those perfect combos and take down a big boss. The game looks stunning on the PS5. The graphics are like out of this world with detailed environments that make you feel like you're really there. You'll visit different planets, each with its own unique look and feel. Exploration is a big part of the game too. You can roam around these beautifully crafted worlds, finding secrets, solving puzzles, and upgrading your gear and abilities. It's got that classic Metroidvania feel, where you unlock new powers that let you reach previously inaccessible areas. It's super rewarding to go back and find all the hidden stuff you missed the first time around. So, if you're looking for one of the best PS5 games to play right now, Star Wars Jedi Survivor should be at the top of your list. It's got a gripping story, awesome combat, and like some of the best visuals you'll see on the PS5. Jump into Cal's adventure and see if you've got what it takes to survive in the Star Wars galaxy.
You'll feel this. I will not yield to you.
Stellar Blade. One of the finest games of 2024. Before I start talking, I know that Stellar Blade is not for everyone. A lot of players are getting mad at this game because of all the steamy stuff for the bodysuit, but you have to understand that there's nothing wrong, and there's also a good number of players who love to play this game. Honestly, I believe that it's such a nice decision to bring back this kind of gaming. It's such a fresh experience to enjoy some good old Bayonetta kind of gameplay. Sure, the only convincing thing I could say is that if it's not your jam, then don't play it, but make sure not to criticize anything, because the OG gamers who are a fan of games like Bayonetta will surely appreciate Stellar Blade. Now, it's not just the bodysuit, the game has a lot of great content plus a good storyline. Also, we can never forget the fast-paced hack-and/combat. It's so thrilling to see the main character slashing enemies right and left, all while wearing a tight suit. If we just put aside the factor of outfits, then we can all appreciate the visuals and the combat. Stellar Blade looks extremely amazing on PS5. Every cutscene showcases how far we have come in gaming and how great PS5 is in terms of overall visuals and graphics. The only reason that you should play this game is to see how great it looks on PlayStation 5. You will be shocked to see how engaging it feels, and you will never leave your couch. There are also two big reasons which will compel you to play Stellar Blade. The first is, if you are a huge fan of hack-and/combat, then you must give it a shot, as it feels really nice to cut through enemies. The second is the obvious Bayonetta-style character outfits. The Last of Us Remake. If we talk about how awesome The Last of Us Remake looks like on the PS5, then I gotta hand it to Naughty Dog for giving such stunning experience. The pacing and bonding feel incredible. I was so overjoyed to see both Ellie and Joel surviving through different environments while helping each other. It's not always that you expect such a storyline from a zombie apocalypse game, but The Last of Us nailed it in every aspect. From start to finish, you will see both characters sharing the journey and the growing side by side. Nevertheless, Last of Us is a series that is a must-play if you love experiencing story-focused games. There's never a dull moment as you are always moving forward and seeing new things. One of my favorite aspects is how the game provides you with several different weapons while giving you a survival feeling. So, unlike some other games, you are not overpowered and must stay cautious while upgrading yourself. My final thoughts on this game would be that it's one of the best experiences if you want to see some nice moments, dive into a journey across multiple environments, or want to immerse yourself in a perfectly paced storyline. Cyberpunk 2077. Who can forget about the definition of immersive futuristic title? Cyberpunk is a game that will forever be talked about as a major step up in open world games. For the love of God, the game is a masterpiece. I know that a lot of bad stuff happened at the release with all the issues, bugs, glitches. However, if we can forget about everything, then in 2024 everything is properly fixed, and the game is almost good as new. The current Cyberpunk, after all the updates and patches, is nothing like what you saw at the release. The game is filled with neon buildings, robotic NPCs with sci-fi gadgets or modifications, a highly interactive open world where you can do so much more than just simply completing the main missions. Every area in this game is filled with lights giving you an idea of what the future could be like. I mean, we all know about Cyberpunk. There's hardly any player who has no idea about this game. Sure, there are players who have never played the game, but I'm sure that everyone has heard about it. Therefore, if you love open world games combined with a good storyline and a lot of action, then there's no better time to play Cyberpunk. There's in fact an anime about this which indicates how popular the game is. Obviously, it's without a doubt that fans who love to explore sci-fi open worlds will find this game fascinating as there's a lot to discover and interact with. You can easily spend over 100 hours in this game and will still miss something. This proves that the developers went all out and provided as much content as they could for the players. Before I reveal my final pick, here are some honorable mentions. The first game we have is Returnal. This is one of those sci-fi games that look too good to be true on PS5. Returnal is yet another example of how roguelike game can give you an immersive feeling packed with action and shooting. Sure, there's a great storyline, but in these kind of games, my favorite thing to do is to just go out and blast the enemies. I love how thrilling it feels to smash enemy skulls with a variety of weapons. The best feature that I think made Returnal such a huge deal is the content. The game never lets you feel that what's coming up, it always smacks you with something new. If you clear the first boss in your first try, then it's likely that the second one is going to take over 3 hours. Returnal is just a weirdly satisfying experience that has the potential to make you feel like you are in sync with the game's environment and graphics. The next bonus game is Gran Turismo 7. I think we all know what this game is about. I mean, pretty much everyone who owns a PlayStation knows what this game is. There's nothing major here, the game is all about cars and racing. That's the easiest explanation, it's just my own opinion, but if you're not into racing then definitely don't dive in. Except for that, if this is your jam then without a doubt just go for it. Gran Turismo is one of the best car racing games. There's a lot of advanced stuff than just simply choosing your car. There's in fact a movie about this, which is something you must watch if you love racing. We can all have our favorite racing games, but it's for sure that Gran Turismo is something that most players really love playing. Now, another game is Deathloop. Honestly, I loved it when I first saw this game. Both the name and trailer looked captivating. Low-key, every time I see Deathloop, I can't help but remember Deadshot from Suicide Squad. Anyways, as you can see, the game is mostly about first-person shooting. The game was sort of mediocre, and even though it's produced by Bethesda, a lot of players didn't like the game for various reasons. However, the only thing that you need to know is that Deathloop becomes so much better in the middle portion when you get all those powers and weapons. That's when everything starts to feel thrilling and exciting. Though, if you're looking for some underrated FPS fun, then Deathloop is right up your alley. Now, the last bonus game is none other than the pinnacle of FPS games, Doom Eternal. I guess some of you might argue with me, but I believe that Doom series is surely one of the finest FPS games. The excitement you get after smashing skulls and blasting monsters is on a whole other level. The game literally gives you complete freedom, and your only goal is to shoot whoever comes in your way. And the fast-paced shooting and rhythmic beats or soundtracks enhances the experience, resulting in having an insane blast. This is one of those games that you can dive into if you just want to have some fun and don't want to focus too much on the storyline. Yakuza Like a Dragon. I started the Yakuza series with Yakuza 0, and I can say that I had one of the best experiences. Even if the series is not your typical open world with gigantic games, Yakuza is still a fantastic game and has a lot of content to explore. You will be amazed to see how often you will wander from the main quest and will always find yourself doing something silly or helping other NPCs. The game is packed with interactive places such as shops, karaoke, fight tournaments, cabaret clubs. One of the best features are the mini-games. It's just awesome to take a break and dive into some mini-games, trying to beat some high scores. Now, in my opinion, the series was sort of dying, but the release of Yakuza Like a Dragon changed everything. This time you have a brand new character that's hilarious. All the jokes, humor, and goofy moments makes the game quite enjoyable. You don't have to worry about the previous parts. Like a Dragon features a new storyline for which you don't need any prior knowledge. Although you will see some references, it's nothing major. You can surely dive into this fresh Yakuza experience. The game has all the old stuff and mechanics. However, there's a lot of new stuff as well, plus it's available on PS5, which means that the flashy attack combos and graphics are going to be mesmerizing. I just love the idea that more and more people will be able to enjoy the joyful experience of Yakuza series.
You're in it now. Get some. Cool. Finally.
Anyways, if you have made it this far, then please subscribe, as I'm close to reaching 18,000 subscribers and join my Discord community for helpful gaming content.